And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Kassarian, and welcome to another review of the M1A1. This is a review of the Ariete. Yeah, look at this, the Ariete. Okay, so what is the Ariete? It is a Tier 8 main battle tank. It is in the Western European tree, and no, I do not have it fully upgraded, nor do I have retrofits on this thing. Why? Because so far in PvE, I haven't needed it. This tank is, again, it's pretty ridiculous, actually. It is continuing the tradition of, hey guys, I'm going to just stick a giant block of armor on this tank, and we're going to keep going. So, the C1 Ariete is actually an Italian tank. It is presently the main battle tank of the Italian army. It was initially developed in the early 90s, and deliveries are planned for, well, it's actually developed in the 80s. Initial delivery was planned for 1993, but actually took place in 1995 because of Italian tank design. Sorry, that's really bad, and I apologize to Italians out there, but you guys had some pretty crappy tanks in World War II, and you're not known for developing things on time. Okay, so, digs against Italian armaments industries aside, how does this thing function? Well, let's take a look at it. Now let's compare it to my other Tier 8 MBT. The M1A1 Abrams main battle tank. Now, understand that my M1A1 Abrams is actually upgraded a bit more than this is, and it has retrofits on it. Or at least some retrofits. I'm a little short on credits right now, so that's one of the reasons we don't have a lot of retrofits. Okay. However, both these tanks have all the upgrades they need. This is only lacking its mobility upgrade, and I think this guy's almost fully upgraded here. So, first things first. Alpha. We're comparing their Sabo rounds here, and the M1 wins on damage. The C1 Ariete is 527 versus the M1's 541. However, the Ariete has a lot more pen than the Abrams. The Abrams has the lowest penetration at its tier, with only 525 millimeters, whereas the Ariete has 594. Now, damage per minute. Abrams wins, alright? It's 4,150 for the C1, and 4,753 for the Abrams. Now, the Ariete here actually has a better crew than the Abrams does. I believe the Abrams is only at 2? Yes. Whereas the Ariete is at 4 for its crew. But the Abrams does have both its intercom systems and an advanced thermal sleeve on it. Now, the advantage that the Abrams has here is that whereas the Ariete has upgrades, retrofits for universal armor mobility, the Abrams gets universal armor firepower. So the Abrams actually has more expandability in terms of its reload, its fire rate reduction. Okay, hit points, 2350 versus 2570. The Abrams wins. Armor. Alright, so this is where things get a little bit complicated here. So the Ariete has 362. The Abrams also is lacking its cage armor, by the way. The Ariete is 362 front versus the Abrams 320 front. But the Abrams actually has more effective armor on its front because it has that hull modifier of 2.05, which is actually not its maximum multiplier. If you look at the upgrades on the Abrams, we can see that he also gets a cage upgrade, which actually doesn't further increase his forward armor modifier. Okay, so the Abrams is at his best armor modifier then. But he's going to be effective 640 versus not. Versus on the Ariete, we're going to see effective frontal armor of... Huh? Oh, that's on the Abrams. Right. Alright. 840 for the Abrams front, 520. Alright. Side armor on the Ariete is 585. That is monumental large amounts of armor. The Abrams has 656. But you have to remember the Ariete also saw this applique crap on it. Alright? It's a lot of armor. So, the Ariete has a lot of armor. And 124 in the rear versus 205 in the rear. So the Abrams has slightly better armor just because of its armor modifier in the rear. Alright? Now, the thing to remember about what you're seeing on these tanks, though, is that on the Ariete, let me get this out of the way a little bit, these armor figures are true where you see this applique. Alright? So your forward half of your armor is very tough, but you don't want to get hit back here. You don't want to get hit in the back half of your tank, if you can at all avoid it. And I mean at all avoid it. Alright, so let's get this back organized. Mobility. The Abrams has a higher top speed, but the Ariete has a slightly better acceleration by not enough to really matter. The Abrams turns faster, but not enough to really matter. Camouflage value. The Ariete wins with 0.15 versus the Abrams 0.045. Yeah, the Abrams is not a stealthy tank. Alright? It is a typically American, I'm a brute sort of tank. View range, the Abrams wins. I suspect that's partially because I have the upgraded comm systems on the Abrams. Cannon depression. Abrams wins with a -10. It's an American tank. Accuracy, 0.12 on the Ariete, 0.10 on the Abrams. Abrams wins. Aim time, 2.73 versus 2.21 on the Abrams. And the Abrams doesn't have anything affecting his aim time right now. Turret traverse, the Ariete actually has a slightly higher turret traverse than the Abrams. Okay, so let's look at something here. Let's see exactly how powerful the armor is on the C1 Ariete. So, notice that 585, lower. Oops. Why are you showing me that? Alright. So, we know that on the Ariete, we have 520 frontal versus armor piercing. Okay? This is interesting. Yeah. So we have 520 frontal armor versus AP. Alright. Now, if we look at this, we glance at the T80 here. Or the T90, excuse me. Just remember that 520 number. Now, I don't know why this is telling me it has better armor. It really doesn't, trust me. You're looking at 600 penetration, all right? And its heat round has 504. Now, on the Ariete, if I get back to it, I can almost guarantee you that this round will not go through. There is not a place on this tank that has a low enough slope for this to get through, all right? It is very rare that I get penned from the front in this tank. It is, okay, let me rephrase that. It is ridiculously uncommon, and I think I've had it happen like twice in playing this tank, where I get penetrated from the front. In fact, let's take a look at how much damage I can soak. This is Operation Stormy Winter. Ariete, an M1A2, a Challenger, and me. Let's load the game up, shall we? Now, if you notice, I am mid-tier. And we have a lot of heavy armor in this map. A lot of heavy armor. And of course, this is Stormy Winter, my favorite map for let me show you how this tank performs, because Stormy Winter is really one of those maps where when it goes wrong, it goes terribly wrong in the best possible way. So, pretty standard grouping here. We have a lot of heavy armor. We have a Challenger 2, an M1A1, 2 Arietes, and a Challenger 1. That's a lot of firepower, and that's a lot of armor. If you notice, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the tanks are Western European. And you can see me saying, oh, I only have to grind about 2 million more credits before I get my next tank. I think we were waiting for someone to connect. There we go. Now it looks like battle starts is stuck on the top of my screen. Oh, great. Sorry about that. They're saying it's subpar for tier 8. I disagree. Viola Reed, I disagree. And you're about to see why I disagree. In quite a fantastic demonstration. Okay, so we had a bit of lag to start the game. I was, at that point, cursing myself because I'd left a Steam game downloading in the background. Identify. So, I'm just going to roll up here. And I'm looking for a place to shoot. I'm looking for a penetration spot. Boom, there we go. Oh, hey, look. They have outgoing damage up here now. Ah, that's cool. I didn't see that in the patch notes. So now you guys can see the amount of damage I'm actually doing. So I'm just going to hammer into these guys. And I'm making sure that I'm firing Sabo. Unlike the Challenger, this tank does get a heat round. But in this map, I'm actually mostly just using my Sabo. And you guys can see why. I'm facing mostly other enemy MBTs. Alright, I take it to my tracks, but no damage to my hull there. So I can just ignore that. I'm still flinging Sabo, though. Why am I flinging Sabo? Honestly, because I don't want to have to switch my armor around here. That BMP wasn't going to last that long, and I'd rather fling the Sabo and have the Sabo up to fire. I missed that shot, and I reloaded heat.
Those supply trucks belong to the NPA.
And I actually get a heat count on that M1A2. His rear turret armor on the M1 series, their rear turret armor, where the bustle is pretty weak. So you can notice most of us are actually staying in a cluster this time. Dino Rider's off to the left-hand side of the map, and he's just gotten into a spawn wave. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to help him. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm getting distracted. There's T80 there.
You've done a brother deal, and I'll make sure you're rewarded.
Put a round into him. I'm getting a little nervous right now because I'm like, well, this is going to be tough, you know. Got enemies off to my right, and I got a contact off to my left. I'm not certain what to do here. I'm like, I'll go this way. All right, I'll go this way. And I don't take a shot from that Leopard 2, which I was very lucky for. And I'm still flinging heat, and I'm getting really frustrated, actually, because I forgot that I switched over to heat. Get a good 661 hit. I will go back to Sabo, as you just heard. And now I'm going to fling Sabo into that Leopard 2A5. Now, the 2A5, that's other Ariete is going to have trouble penning him. But I realize, as I start swearing, that our M1A2 is very heavily damaged, and I need to go help out back there. Especially because they're about to get flanked by that BMD4. So I stop. I take a shot. I bring their attention, but more importantly, I bring their attention to the fact that there is a BMD4 on their right. And I'm like, okay, all right, so we'll take care of this BMD4. I'll get this BMD4 for these guys. I'm using the building to cover my right still, and I'm trusting my side armor. It's tough. It's thick armor. You see that right there? I take that shot from that BMD4 and I just soak it up. I'm like, I don't care. Alright, so I finally took a hit. What happened was he actually looks like he penetrated in through where my tracks are. This corner right there is a weak spot. So make sure you're front on to the enemy when you're in this tank. I wasn't, and I just paid for it in spades. So I'm looking for a target. Reloading Sabo still. And I turn my side to them just so I can get a flank in. that Merkava's coming around on me, so I need to pull it back. And that's the point where this goes bad. Because that Challenger 1 triggers the cap, and I start swearing. At the same time, I take a hit from that M8, which wipes out a big chunk of my hit points. You see that, just how he's going right through that corner. And now I just am like, oh, yep, okay. Caps. I think this is actually when I figure out that the cap's been triggered. This is when I figure out that the cap has been triggered and we are in a lot of trouble. And yeah, he's just penning me right through that. Oh wow, okay, no, those are turret pens. I think they're turret pens. No, those are ricochets. I can't tell where he's actually penetrating me. My armor is good. It is not the best of the world. I'm also fighting enemies who are a tier up from me. So that makes things a little bit more difficult. I get the kill there, finally. But you guys can see, this is now turned into a cluster. I get a heat hit on that Challenger. Guys, you can pen MBTs with heat. It just takes some effort. We've already lost one of our Challengers. I'm actually low on hit points now, and I believe I've already used my rebuild kit. And you can see we're just hammering. I mean, this is a ridiculous match. And I'm like, I'm not going to go straight into that mess. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll support the Challenger too. So I'm going to pull up here, come around this corner. You can see the Challenger 2 and I are going line abreast. I've pushed ahead. I'm saying, you know what? I'm big. I'm heavy. That Ariete gets the other kill. Now I'm thinking, okay, I think we're done. We've survived. We amazingly enough have 4 out of our 5 teammates still alive. No, I don't know how that happened. This map went bad. I'm like, okay, BMD4. I can deal with the BMD4. I'm switching over to heat again because I'm like, okay, we have AFBs, and there's a Thunderbolt there, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to actually stick my nose out there. You actually can see my turret as I see the Thunderbolt there, and I'm like, yeah, you're dying. Got me in the tracks again, which is fine. I take him out just because I hate Thunderbolts. Our M1A2 back there, he is waging World War III. If you look at his position on the mini-map. And we are just hammering away here. And we lost it. Okay. So now it's down to the Challenger 2 and the 2 Arietes. And now I realize, wait a second. I go trundling off this way. Because I'm like, oh, I think there was an enemy back here. Because I'm not looking at my mini-map and I'm not being situationally aware. And that actually cost me a fair amount of damage in this match. And I just realized, wait a second, there's nothing over here. Holy Toledo, there's a lot of stuff over there. You know, that wonderful moment. Now, I don't survive this whole match, unfortunately. I just don't think I do. I think this is the one where I die. It is an awesome match, though. And you guys can see the damage counter in my upper corner of my screen here. Enemy Abrams.
Low Sabo.
And I fire off a shot, switch over to Sabo. Typically, I will usually fire a shot. If I had heat loaded, I will typically... There, end of game.
Good work. Our extraction team's heading in from town, and they'll be there shortly.
And that was a
Thank
good
you.
game. That was a very, very, very good game. And you guys could see on my damage counter over there that even though this was an unexpected trigger of the cap, which was stupid by that Challenger 1, and he died for it, I think, we still won. We won that match. All right? That is the most impressive thing about the Ariete. My personal contribution to winning that match was over 20,000 damage in a tank that is not known for being a high damage dealer. I came in first on the team with a blue star. I did not do the most damage, but I actually had more spots than my friends did. 1 more kill and 2 more assists. My armor mitigated 9,413 points of damage. Not quite as impressive as the Challenger, but still pretty impressive. So, I'm not certain I would say that this tank exactly underperforms. I guess it does a little bit. Compared to what you're used to from the Challenger 1, or in my case the C1 Wolf, it does underperform a little bit. But let's take this thing into PvE first. I don't want to do that mission. I also don't want to do that mission. But, okay, we don't have much of a choice, apparently. Start the contract to get into the game. And I can talk more about this tank. I don't think it necessarily underperforms. I think it's a good tank. It is not as excellent as the Challenger 1. Or for what I hear as the Challenger 2. It is a good all-around tank. Okay, I am the only heavy armor in this match. This should be great. Just great. And there's an AMX-10 RCR. Which I have one. Yes, I bought one. I actually bought one so I can review it. Yeah. It is an amazing machine and really OP for PvE. I don't think it'll work that well in PvP, but PvE it is an incredible vehicle. Seriously, it is stunningly fantastic. So we appear to have a bug in my game with this battle starts thing staying on the top of the screen. Oh, this is not the map I thought it was. I thought this was another one. This one's fine.
Capturing the port is up to you now.
Okay, so everyone's being pretty quiet today. Good hunting. Alright, let's get down here and let's start fighting these guys. And we have a scout. Might as well put a round onto him.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
Ow. I gave you my side because I'm an idiot. Alright. There we go. That's a nice pen. Let's back her up a bit.
Nailed them.
Right through my armor, too.
Incoming Artie. Nailed them. Threat destroyed. Track prepared.
Alright, hopefully someone kills that paladin sometime soon. I don't have to burn my repair kit yet. I should not have fired there, but whatever. Alright, so let's pull this up here.
Contraband. Good job. We'll take that one out.
That got him in the ammo rack. You can see how quickly that 10 AMX 10 RCR can fire, though. If you have Sabo up, always fire it into the Terminator side.
They hit our track. They hit our track.
Now, I think the 10 RCR is trying to fire heat into him. So let's get down here. Yeesh. He died fast.
Target's gone.
Get my nose swung around here. Now, there's a hostile MBT up here that I want to deal with. And there are two... There's a Leopard 2A6. A pair of them. Crap. That's not good. The main issue is that there's a paladin, right? Now, my vision range ain't the best in the world, but...
Identify.
Ding! Now, why is he flinging high explosive at me?
Keep moving. That looks like one of ours.
Identify. Hostile tank.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shield my side armor.
Identify. Hostile tank.
And I can see that weasel there.
Contraband. Good job. We'll take that one out.
Target locked. Target locked.
Keep moving. That looks like one of ours.
Good, my buddies have just gotten here.
Track that.
Target eliminated.
Got him. He's my major threat.
Contraband. Good job. We'll take that one out. Mission complete. Good work. The civilians will be happy.
I think Artie just ate him for lunch. Alright, that I can't do much about. You have to roll it forward. Now would be a good time to use that rebuild kit.
Hostile truck. Marked.
That isn't a truck, that's an M1A1.
We have control of the docks
Or-
and cartel ships. It will
Someone
take some
could cap
time to
early.
sort through the contraband here, but you've done your part. Enjoy your payday.
Well then. Possibly a glitch? We don't know. I'll have to look at the replay and see what the heck happened there. So that was an abbreviated fight. As you saw, I was actually getting penned. I'm a higher tier. Fighting higher tiers, you will get penned. Unlike the Challenger, which will literally just sit there and soak damage even from higher tiers. Really what this tank is lacking is the armor modifier. The M1 has a much better armor modifier. I think the Challenger 1 had a better armor modifier, to be honest with you. So really what you're lacking here is a good armor modifier against AP shells. And watch out for the M8s. They will eat your soul. The M8s will just eat your soul. That's what they're designed to do. So my verdict on this tank, I'd say a 7 out of 10. It's a decent enough tank. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay, there are a few things that could be fixed, but it isn't a bad tank. I quite like it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kassarian. I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give me a like, comment, or a subscription. If you didn't, let me know what you didn't like about it. I will probably show off the MX-10 RCR at some point this week, while it's still on sale. My verdict is, it is an awesome vehicle and not worth the money. So, thank you very much, and as always, good hunting.